Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 milliamp hour power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to iPad Focus, where we dive into the world of Apple's iPads and explore what makes them tick. Today, we're going to talk about the latest refresh in the iPad Air lineup, specifically the M3 chip. Now, if you've been following Apple's product cycle, you know that the iPad Pro has always been positioned as the high-end model, while the iPad Air was seen as more of a mid-range option. But with this latest refresh, things are getting interesting. One thing to note is that the distinction between the iPad Air and the iPad Pro is becoming increasingly blurred. Both devices now run on Apple's M3 or M4 chips, which means they're essentially on an even playing field when it comes to performance. And that's reflected in their pricing. The 11-inch iPad Air starts at Rupee 59,900, while the 13-inch model goes for 79,900. In contrast, the iPad Pro starts at Rupee 99,900. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, wait, isn't this just a case of Apple trying to split hairs? And you're right, it is. But what's interesting here is that Apple is actually bucking generational inflation by keeping the M2 chip in the lower-end model and upgrading only the higher-end devices to the M3. This means that for those who already own an iPad Air with the M2 chip, there might not be as much of a compelling reason to upgrade just yet. But if you're new to the iPad Air or you're upgrading from an older model, this is definitely worth considering. The M3 chip brings significant performance upgrades over the M1 chip. And for those who need heavy-duty multitasking or content creation, it's a game-changer. I mean, we've all seen apps like Procreate, Pixelmator, and Adobe Lightroom become increasingly fast and responsive on the iPad Air. And let's not forget about the accessories. Apple has introduced an updated Magic Keyboard with a function key row, which is actually really useful. And of course, there's still the Apple Pencil, which remains one of the best styluses out there. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about the display? The iPad Pro always gets the latest and greatest screens. And you're right again, this time around, the iPad Air continues with its Liquid Retina LCD screen. But here's the thing. It's still one of the best LCD screens out there, with all sorts of features like P3 wide color and true tone adjustments. So, what does it all mean? Well, for those who value a sweet spot between performance and price, the iPad Air M3 is definitely worth considering. It's not perfect. Some might argue that 128 GB is too low a spec for any iPad beyond the entry-level model. But for most users, I think this will be more than enough. And let's not forget about the competition. Android tablets still have a long way to go before they can match the iPad Air's performance and features. So, if you're in the market for a new tablet, I definitely recommend giving the iPad Air M3 a closer look. Thanks for watching iPad Focus. We'll be back next time with more news and reviews from the world of Apple iPads.